Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in the Ultimate Base 3.0. Today we're finally gonna launch a new type of rocket that is gonna be the RADBOLT rocket that is gonna bring us way further than before on the star map right here. That means we will be able to explore some of these question marks. However, in order to accomplish that, we'll still have to do some research. Let's check just how much. Yeah, quite a bit here in applied sciences. That is all right. We also still have Ellie creating some data banks in case we need them for future researches. In the meantime, on Glowani, I figured one more thing we could actually take care of is this hydrogen vent. Why not actually include it in this contraption here? Usually one steam turbine should be enough for a gold volcano, so we could do something with the heat of the hydrogen as well. I already got a vacuum going on, so what if we just started to connect these two bits together? Then the hydrogen can be vented out and we could have a wall of metal tiles in order to transfer the heat between those two rooms. And then as soon as we reach a certain temperature here with the hydrogen, we should be able to pump it out and directly into some hydrogen generators. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I wanna expand all of this. So let's say the ladder is gonna go over here and all of that is gonna be enclosed. Now I actually wonder, could we just expand the room and get those hydrogen generators inside of here? Yeah, we could easily fit like 3 of them and then still have a metal wall between the vent and the actual steam room. So I think that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Let's deconstruct this as well. I need a way to get my water in here still. So let's put that over here for now, and then probably my liquid vent is going to be in the way as well. However, we could also easily put that one block over for the sake of this contraption. And this way we already have a way to cool down the hydrogen generators inside the steam room if we build them out of steel, of course. And we're not obliged to cool down the hydrogen as much as the steam is going to constantly keep the hydrogen generators hot anyways. It's gonna cost me 800 steel a piece, no problem for us at this point. This would be the first placement here, the second one, and then we'll have the third one there. As for the power, we can lead this directly through, and let's not forget to have some steel wiring at the spawn location of the volcano. You know, in my opinion, it would look a little bit niftier this way. So we get rid of that bit and have it connected from the bottom. Ah, nice. Looks like we have more gold incoming, and it actually worked. It did make 2 rounds here, and then it went all the way up. It's already at a nice cozy temperature. Maybe we'll have to lead it through tiles eventually. I think the outside here should be mostly void of gases, or just very few, so it's not very affected by the heat. Sadly, it's now also time to say goodbye to Chelsea. It has been a great time, but unfortunately, she's gotta go. I think what I might want to do is expand this all the way, so we have one large square, and then I'm gonna use the top portion here. So all of these tiles here at the bottom are gonna be metal tiles transferring the heat between the rooms, so that when the hydrogen gets released, it doesn't go directly to our gas pumps and heat them up to the point they overheat. I mean, it comes out here at 500 degrees, that's not good, but we can let it go up, accumulate a certain amount of it, and then always keep it at maximum of 200 degrees of this steam room. So I wonder, should I just destroy the vacuum and then pump it out again? I think that might be much easier. Yeah, let's go ahead and not care about the vacuum anymore, so I can make a new liquid lock and make this a bit easier on us. We're gonna take some aluminium tiles and place them here. Actually, let me see. I never checked aluminium. Is that good? Ooh, nice. That seems like a really good thermal conductivity. Let's just quickly compare it to steel, for instance, which is 54. So thermal conductivity of aluminium is so much better. In this case, I would like to continue my wiring here. Have another heavy watt joint plate connecting these 2 parts. Okay, I think it's all coming together. How many data banks do we have? 7. No, wait, that's not right. 50 plus 7. I think I'm gonna wait until 100 before sending Ellie back. And in the meantime, we can probably use some scaffolding here. Actually, let's make that out of obsidian, so it doesn't completely melt over, just in case, because we're gonna need some points where we actually access the rocket, right? So let's bring this all the way up. How many blocks? I don't know, but at least 30 or 40. So it's probably going to be something like that. And wait a second, I need to be careful. There's some brine here. So this part here on this side can never get hot. We have to do all the accessing from the left side, which is a little bit tedious at the moment, but I'm gonna change that soon. I mean, technically we have the space for a transit tube access point here as well. So we're gonna continue the obsidian pattern here all the way up. And that should be about it. I'm also gonna place a bunch of ladders just to build this. Okay, unfortunately, the worst thing that could have happened and the hydrogen vent just became active. That is quite a pity, I have to say. Now I have to approach it from the other side, but I think if I'm quick enough, at least I won't have to pump out the room anymore because it's already all hydrogen. So I'm just gonna leave the game running. I'm gonna close off this room so we can pump this out separately again. How much time do we have? 21 cycles. Okay, that means we have to temporarily get in from this side. If I connect the wiring like this, I will be able to take it apart and then have a block here and there. And that should allow me to enter as long as this is still not too hot. And then sadly, we'll have to pump this out again. But I did not see that coming. I just saw it was dormant, took the risk, and now I'm regretting it. It's quite simple actually. And there it goes again. Ah, jeez. Just don't do this to me. Let's make sure we do this quickly. Yeah, actually mopping this up might not be a bad idea before we get steam. Oh no, I think we did get steam. No. From the looks of it, it is so little that it can't survive. I just unequipped the Atmos suit. What? Jeez. Hassan, I'm so sorry. Go pick that up again. Yes, pick it up. I know. Okay, nice. The room is now closed off again. If we approach it from a different angle, we should be able to take on this project. I kind of wanted to do it the other way so we can have a clean flooring here, but now I'm not so sure we will be able to achieve that. And this thing just goes for it, but the output isn't that great. 325, I mean, while it is active, it is able to feed all of these 3 hydrogen engines, but the average output with the dormant phase is going to be much less. We collected 150 data banks. I totally forgot about Ellie here up in space, but I guess it's time to send her back and do some more research. Okay, we just gained access to the room again. Easy peasy. Let's set up a pump, get that hydrogen out of there once again, and we should be golden. Also, maybe another thing we can already set up are the pipes here. They would be going up to this room where we have the pump somewhere. What if we just have a ladder here on the right side, then set up a liquid lock to get in here? I think that might be possible. I also just noticed I built this out of gold amalgam. This should all be steel, which I don't have enough of, but we can send some more back. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up with nuclear waste, since we have some of it and this has a high vaporization point. There it is, absolutely magnificent, 16 kilograms. Let's actually check it out. 526 degrees, this is perfect. So all we have to do is fill up these 2 tiles here with anything. Actually, we don't even have to do that because it is already hydrogen. So we can just open this up and gain access to this room. What I would like to see are some gas pumps. Actually, just one is going to be enough because one gas pump pumps 500 grams. And I'm going to have it all the way to the left side. So there's no way it can overheat. I then would like to make this dependent on a thermosensor just for safety. And I wonder, let me just check out the AND gate. Can I? Yeah, I could have my AND gate here. This is perfect. Then we'll have a thermosensor here and also a Atmos sensor. I want to check just how much pressure I have, so there's at least a little bit of density in here before we pump things out. So my Atmos sensor will go here, and then we have some wiring going into the inputs and the output goes into the pump. And then we only pump if we have the right temperature, if it's not too hot, and also somewhat of a density going on here. I'm then gonna pump it through here and it's gonna go into the generators. Last one here, also made out of steel. This should theoretically give us the space, if I have enough steel, for another gas reservoir. Just one, actually. But I would argue that is better than none. I just have to send back another 400 kilograms or so of steel. I just love this launcher system. Also, before I forget, obsidian wallpaper should obviously continue here. And then do we have something that is going to result in pink? Maybe the salt? No, I don't think so. Rust, potentially, let me check out rust. We're just gonna do one and check out the color. It could be a nice color for this room. Okay, we're almost done here. Takes a while to pump out the room because I cannot utilize all of the pumping tiles, but we are good here. Overpressure, I decided to also make this a metal tile wall in case we only have water in this room and no steam. This way I can still transfer some of the chill over, and hopefully that is gonna be enough to calm everything down. Water should be much stronger than the hydrogen, but that's it. I'm still going to control the generators here by placing a smart battery afterwards. This way we don't just waste the hydrogen. And of course I also made sure that we first go into the gas reservoir and then out again before we go into the generators, so we can accumulate some of it during phases we have enough power. As for the sensors, I would like to detect a certain density of gases, let's say 2000 grams. Yeah, that should be about good. Overpressure happens at 5 kilograms. And as for the thermosensor, it should be below, let's say, 250 degrees. And then we start to pump things out into the gas reservoir. Okay, and now that we have this connection, we should also see heat being transferred here, or the chill, depending on what's happening. And now with the building of this reservoir, we are done, though we could have a little lip here in order to prevent the hot gases from going over too quickly. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna do that. This way we have a little bit more time to cool down the gases here in the first place, and then when they come over here, they should already be below the overheat temperatures of those steel contraptions. And then I think I'm gonna wrap everything off with a bunch of airflow tiles here. Wonderful. Hassan just left the building. I think we can close this off now, and whenever we need to enter again, we could theoretically do it. We also finally achieved a vacuum here, so that was perfect timing. Let's get rid of everything we don't need from that system. Wonderful. Still 14 cycles left. We were good in time. We have enough water here. Once we can leave the room, we can also seal it off, and then we just have to make the vacuum here like we did on all the other contraptions. I think, yeah, this aluminium volcano now became active, so this is giving us quite a bit of power here with the 2 steam engines. So we definitely prefer those volcanoes being active as much as possible. We will also be getting some more heat here. This is actually now actively heating up just because of the hydrogen, which is also nice to see. Good, let's wrap this up with a smart battery. Hopefully, yeah, we still have enough steel, just about. And wrap this up with some automation wire. This one here is also made out of steel. Just a single automation wire there. And there it is. Wonderful. Let's set the battery. Gonna do 95% and about, let's say, 20%. This is gonna be our backup power. And then we close this off and be done with it. We can take care of the next stage, which is gonna be this guy here. Let's check the research quickly. Yeah, look at that. Just a little bit to go. So I'm gonna be right back once the research is actually ready for our rocket. I totally forgot to mention that the rust actually looks pretty decent, and I'm going to analyze this thing the next time it becomes dormant. There was also a piece of liquid here. I had to get back in there and actually mop it up, some salt water. And I'm using this liquid lock here in order to pump out the rest before closing off the entire system. And then that is done as well. Since we accumulated a little bit more hydrogen than we can take, we might have to think about a different solution with the gas reservoir, so we can expand the room and maybe set up a couple of them. But for now, I just solved the problem by setting this to 90%, so every time we require a little bit of energy, these guys are gonna kick on. Anyways, that's enough of that. We're now focusing on our RADBOLT engine. We haven't quite researched it. It's just a little bit to go. So I figured we can set up another engine and already do the Spacefarer module. Inside here, we have nothing so far. So let's maybe deconstruct this and get things ready. As usual, we're gonna get things started with a mini gas pump here in order to get rid of the carbon dioxide. We are simply gonna pump that out of the rocket. On top of that, we're gonna have some carpeted tiles, but I'm just gonna let them build that before closing everything off. I'm also gonna fill this up with plastic wallpaper. We did this with a gas element sensor and a little bit of a delay. So I'm gonna need my filter gates here, connect the wiring And that will already be it for the carbon dioxide system. With the gas element sensor, track carbon dioxide, and with the filter gate, let's set this to 60 seconds before starting to pump things out. Lastly, before I forget, some wiring, at least up to this point, and then we can close this. We then have the space for some pneumatic doors here and there, as well as a storage bin, and then we also have the space for a battery, which I don't think we necessarily gonna need, but we have the space for it. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna add that right there. I want to build this quite similarly to the rocket we already have here. The only difference, let me actually see, is there going to be a difference? Yeah, we're not going to have this oxygen diffuser system anymore. But we definitely want a telescope and an orbital data collection lab. Let's maybe continue with the upper portion here. We also need our rocket control station back. The power outlet fitting is going to go right there. We then also have the space here for a ladder bed. A gold airflow tile here with the fridge on top. Right here on the top, instead of an oxygen diffuser, we can have another storage for something. I don't even know if that is going to be necessary. Probably not. Let's actually do that with carpeted tiles, and on top of here we're going to have our mess table. We have this single space here for our future gas vent. Actually, we can already hook this up. Yeah, granite pipes leading directly into this. We're also gonna need that wall toilet back, as well as a hand sanitizer, like so. This brings us to the orbital data collection lab that we're gonna set up here, and this is where our wire needs to go. From there, probably. We're not gonna hook up the fridge, since we'll be using berry sludge. Let's get another door in here, then another airflow tile. Some more carpeted tiles, and on top of here we should have the space for the telescope. You go right there. Of course, we also want to hook that up to power as well as the battery. Now, a little bit of decoration cannot hurt. Probably some pictures. Let's see, what can we get in here? Like 2 pictures, and then before I forget, a whole bunch of wallpaper as well. Nice, this looks like a good amount of stuff to build for my duplicants, and we are making progress with the research as well. The question here is, are we missing anything? I guess we could just set up more storage bins, and in case we decide to land somewhere, there is a possibility to also use this rocket to ship some materials. But I'm not so sure about the optimized version of this, since we basically don't need anything other than maybe plastic and some food. Speaking of plastic, this is what we want to store in this bin, so it works in conjunction with the data lab. And then in the refrigerator, of course, we're gonna have some berry sludge. And I would suggest the full 100 kilograms. As for the rocket, something we already know is we want to take some oxygen with us. Looks like I cannot really build anything. Well, let's go with artifact transport modules. That is something we're gonna need anyways, and as long as I can add a couple of them, I want to do it. Looks like I messed this up a little bit here, so Otto is trapped, but somebody's gonna save him soon with this ladder. Looks like I almost forgot about the water. We need to add water to the system. Would be nice to avoid having to take a liquid tank with us. In this case, I'm gonna try to do as much wiggling as possible, and then hopefully that is gonna be enough water for the entire trip. We'll have to charge after the fact. So we do something like that, and that utilizes almost all the space. Wait, are you serious? There's literally 1 research point left to go, and we didn't have enough. Actually, we still have 49 RADBOLTs, so that research is ours. Yay, finally! Research completed. Our RADBOLT engine is ready. We're gonna swap that carbon dioxide thing, and there it is. Wonderful. Requires a little bit of steel. We have 15 tons, so no issues whatsoever. And thankfully, we are at the right spot with the RADBOLTs. Wonderful. So I'm probably gonna close this off. We're not gonna need this entrance anymore. Actually, we might. Let me see. Is there anything that I need to hook up? No, we can access from here. Should be better. Let's also set up a steel door here. Since we have a vacuum on the other side, nothing should be affected other than the steel door. We can store 4,000 RADBOLTs in that engine. Let's actually fill it up. Yeah, there's no reason for one of my duplicants to come here now that we fixed everything. So it's not even dangerous. We just have to swap this briefly, and then we can fill up the engine. And another thing I have to do is activate the automation for this. Let's actually try to do this manually, since we are doing it manually anyways. So if I just give a signal to this guy, then I could fill up the engine just with this switch. I want to make sure the Spacefarer module always stays on this level, so they have easy access. And then we should be able to set up an obsidian ladder in order to reach everything. And we can add on top of that. Right now we have 2 artifact modules. We already know we're gonna need a gas cargo canister for the oxygen. And I mean, we could do the liquid tank. I honestly don't know how many cycles this is gonna be enough water to do the pooping. Wait. That went a little bit fast. Oh, stop. What's happening? Oh, I get it. This guy is shooting in itself. Oh no. Of course, you cannot really do that. No, I now wish I built it just 1 block further up. But what you're gonna do, what I'm gonna do is build a bunch more reflectors. 1 going up and 1 going down. And then we are at the same level again. And now instead of this switch actually going into the thingamabob here, it's gonna go directly into the RADBOLT reflector to disable it. That means if I have this on the red signal, the system is gonna be disabled and it's gonna make way to fuel up the rocket instead. That means the RADBOLT reflector can shoot into its normal direction again, and my duplicants have to build this stuff now. You know what? I want to be able to spend as much time in space as possible, and I believe we can absolutely do it. We still have the space and I have almost everything I want, so I'm also gonna add a liquid cargo tank. Now we know where those 2 guys are, and that means I need to bring my oxygen over. Where should we do that? Probably on this side. Yeah, we'll have to gain access here again. And then we're gonna feed it some oxygen and potentially also some water, which is also nearby. Let me quickly do that and I'm gonna be right back once we're ready to launch the rocket. Okay, this is what we ended up with. I had to reroute the transit tube a little bit for this to work. Hopefully our port loaders cannot actually melt too quickly, 1000 degrees. I also noticed the RADBOLT joint plate melts at 160 degrees, which is definitely gonna be the case. So I'm not sure how you're supposed to do this. Maybe just shoot it from really far away? Or another possibility would be to have 2 doors and a vacuum in between, but I'm not so sure. It just sounds a little bit too complicated. Well, I guess we'll see once we get it started. It's also funny that it's called Scientific Explorer. That's nice. Looks like we are done overall. Now, instead of doing the wiggling, since we have a liquid module, I'm gonna go directly inside and we're gonna scrap the rest. I just want this cleaned up before we actually launch the rocket and see how it behaves. Okay then, let's do the fueling. I have this guy disabled, so whenever we shoot, we should be able to shoot directly into the rocket now. That means I still need a second switch to activate this, so I need to get this back. It already started to shoot. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. How much did we fill it up? We got 980 or so RADBOLTs in there, and this is already 4 tiles. We can automate it. Nice. This sends a green signal when the RADBOLT storage is full. So all we need to do is maybe take some steel wires and bring them over. Then here I'm gonna switch to LED inside the tiles. And what we want to do is send a green signal instead of us having to do it manually. This is great, so I'm not even gonna need those switches because we can do it automatically. Yeah, let's get rid of that again. Now let's think. We are sending a red signal when we want the RADBOLT. So the red signal should go directly here because we want to disable it. And the RADBOLTs can shoot through to the other system. So that wire will go directly over. We need to set up a automation bridge here. I don't want to disable the other RADBOLT reflector. And then we just need a NOT gate here for the other one that's gonna go into the chamber, therefore activating the entire system. This means whenever my rocket is landed, the system is gonna focus on actually filling up the rocket. So the first guy is always gonna be disabled and then fill up the rocket. When the rocket is full, then the system is gonna focus on the interplanetary launchers again. I really like that. I'm glad I saw that. I would say we're gonna wrap it up for today's episode. I still want to launch it just to see how it actually functions here with the heat and everything. I'm gonna make a save game right now, then launch it for Shix, but we are gonna revert back in order to actually fuel it up completely so we can have a really good round trip around the entire space the next time. Wonderful. I'm actually really glad how this turned out. So let's do that save game and just get the rocket started, see how it reacts. No destination set, the cargo transfer is not completed, and that is everything. So we don't really have problems. Actually, let me swap that to Ellie. There you go. And we're gonna change the destination to, let's see, right now we have 6 tiles available. I'm not so sure, but it wouldn't be hard to actually go ahead and set up something here on Glowani. So instead of this guy shooting into the crushed satellite, we could also make it shoot into the other direction, or just shoot through the interplanetary launcher, having another rocket here. Therefore, we could go ahead and actually make a landing on Glowani or even on Crudial later on, and therefore have a much higher range even with the RADBOLT engine. But yeah, there we go. We are ready. Are we doing it? Acknowledge warnings, begin launch sequence. Let's do this. And then as soon as the rocket goes away, the RADBOLT should shoot into the other direction again. Ellie is arriving. There she goes. And are we doing it? Yes. Oh, okay. This is interesting now. It does get pretty toasty. There's some nuclear fallout. There's 1,000 degrees, 2,600 degrees. I forgot to close this off. I gotta remember that when we revert back to the save game. But yeah, there she goes. Look at that. Magnificent. I love the nuclear fallout. Shiny, nice colors. And it is gonna accumulate down here somewhat. So the question begs, do we have to do something with that? Can we utilize it? But honestly, I'm a little bit surprised about this. This thing is still at 19 degrees, and also the door did... Okay, the door is now heating up, but the RADBOLT trim plate isn't. Maybe we'll get away with it. Let's check space. There she is. 1.4 cycles to get there. That's not too shabby. During editing, I noticed something, so I loaded back up the save game. Namely, this wire will always be red, whether the rocket is here or not. So we have to combine it with this signal here that decides when the rocket is actually here. All we have to do in order to accomplish that is set up an AND gate, for instance, right here. And the output is going to go here instead of this guy. This sends a green signal when the rocket is here. However, we want a red signal right here. Red means we are fueling up the rocket. So we have to additionally add a NOT gate right here into this AND gate. And that should be the end of it. Let's quickly access this. And after that, I would say we are ready for the launch. Maybe I'm going to exchange one of these artifact modules with a solar panel. I'm not yet sure. I'm also going to wait for your feedback maybe. And then we'll see how it goes. But with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.